Yeah, this is Point Black, coming in hard and off the card, coming with the flu from the barrio and the heat from the street, coming with the packs of crack backs and the boom bip to their lying ass lips. This is PBNN Point Black National News, the late and the great edition and the ghetto edition as well. You know what I'm saying? As we see, I adjust my joint as we see. You know what I'm saying? This is a late and the great edition, you know what I'm saying? And the ghetto edition as well. You know what I'm saying? With the boom bip to their lying ass lips. Now, today, what you're going to be hearing is the actual beginning and the creation of the plot of the terrorist scare by the Bush administration and the demon Democratic Luciferian bloodsuckers, and how they orchestrated the terrorist scare in the United States using, black people, especially from poor neighborhoods, who had converted to Islam and was, going to the mosque and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear where they use a scoundrel from Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? No more than a scoundrel criminal entity. He was no more than a skunk. You know what I'm saying? A scoundrel. You know what I'm saying? A wicked individual who, was doing criminal shit. You know what I'm saying? In America. You know what I'm saying? All the way up in Albany. And then when he got caught, you know what I'm saying? They use him as a way to recruit uh, black people from poor neighborhoods out of the mosques and stuff, you know what I'm saying, to join in the so-called jihad that Bush had trumped up in the minds of the people. That would be the jihad he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? That they are. This is his way of. This was their way of creating a terrorist overstanding in the minds of the people to believe that there was terrorist attack in the United States, and they were right here homegrown from our country, but wanted them to believe that, you know what I'm saying, they were going to do jihad coming from Afghanistan. This was all in an effort to trump up to the what we saw with the trump up to the Afghan war. You know what I'm saying? And Bush had no merit, so they used this scoundrel guy from Pakistan who was in trouble in army to go down into the different poor neighborhoods, and recruit black people and call them, saying that he paid millions of dollars or he had plenty of money, and you know what I'm saying, this is about jihad and this and that and that and the third. And that led to him, Bush, going up on the podium constantly talking about terrorists right here at home. You know what I'm saying? That are working with Afghans and these different people, and then at the same time trying to slide in the fact that they were beginning to look to create nuclear weapons and mustard gas and all this 9 yard bullshit that he ran, this fake ass shit. Meanwhile, this Pakistani scumbucket was running around the neighborhood recruiting black people, you know what I'm saying, in many different mosques all around the United States to make it look like the homegrown terrorists for the jihad of the Afghans and Iraq, whatever, was all spreading already in America, when all the time it was the Chinese, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, when we look at it, that's what he did. And then a lot of those guys that this Arab looking Pakistani idiot did, you know what I'm saying, he recruited them, and then it all came crumbling down and they got arrested. And then now they could say, okay, see, you know what I'm saying, when really all they wanted was the money. They wasn't interested, like she said, in the jihad. When you hear this documentary, a little bit of it, I clipped and put out some of the commentator talks because I wanted to get to the point. But if you listen carefully, you're going to start off in a way that you might understand, the players in the field. But, one of the players passed away before she could see the glory of them being released. These black men that had converted to Islam, that this guy was doing. And like they said, he even went into the mosque and they found out that he was a fake and a punk and a part-time broad. So he started hanging out in the parking lot and recruiting these black dudes from these poor neighborhoods you know what I'm saying, you're throwing money in their face, you know what I'm saying, and knowing that they needed money, like you said, one of them needed money to help his brother get a kidney transplant or something like that, you know, and they needed the money, so he used the money in order to gather these people. But the government also didn't need just one individual; they needed to spread across the whole state. When that didn't work, you know what I'm saying, in itself, you know what I'm saying, Bush concoct a plan to knock down the World Trade Center to definitely show the fullness of the scope of his long-time campaign, using this Pakistani scum bucket to recruit all these people all around in different mosques across the United States to believe that there was a real terrorist scare. You know what I'm saying? And then when it all came to full play to put the seal on the deal, Bush orchestrated the knockdown and the destruction and the destruction also of the Pentagon being hit or being a bomb exploding, blowing it up, and no plane hit it. He blew that up on the side where all the records were. Talking about Donald Trump, where all the records were, so they make sure they couldn't see those records. You know, all the different parts that they wanted to blow up to get rid of that. Second thing they did, they knocked down the World Trade Center, you know what I'm saying, to prove to the American public one drastic blast that terrorists was here and in our country. And then that gave him the money to go into the Afghan war and different shit that he did, because he wasn't getting the money no other way. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't going for it. Even Tony Blair was a part of that same schematical garbage. So when you hear this documentary, listen carefully and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is Point Black saying stay right, stay tight, and, you know, let's get it right. One.